Well, with that, we are rolling. I am Sam Schneider. I am Badbeard. To our friends at home, this is Mr. Barber.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Robert Pandya. I'm the communications director at the Barber Vintage Motor Sports Museum in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama.
Which is where we are today. We're in Barber Motorsports here in Birmingham, Alabama. Robert Pandya, and we are rolling out on the front 10.
I'll call it the front 10. I mean, it's the fan zone. So as soon as you come in the main entrance, you take a look at your right, and here's the setup, right? And it's a great view of the track as well. I mean, seeing the chicane section and off into the distance. So, yeah.
Well, and we've had the fortune of talking to a few folks from Moto America. We're talking to racers. We're talking to builders. We're talking to corporate dudes. But you are not directly affiliated with Moto America. This is its own entity.
Yeah, how it's all set up is Mr. Barber, who's still around, 84 years old. Just saw him for a meeting yesterday. The guy's a rock star. So he decided that he wanted to build a park that had a racetrack and a museum in it. So the first definition of this place was for it to be beautiful, period. The museum houses the collection. This is actually our 30th anniversary this year. Pretty amazing. The building has been on this site for 20 of those 30 years, and for 10 years prior, it was in a big warehouse down in Birmingham, downtown, kind of secret door thing, one of those speakeasy museum deals, right? And then, and then, of course, the track. We can access the track from the museum side as well. So if we go to pull out one of the race vehicles or something like that, we can roll right onto the track and go.
And so it was built specific for what it is today.
Exactly right, And so it's a unique course. He said he wanted to make the Augusta of racetracks, for it to be the most beautiful place in America to race any vehicle, and that's what he's built. So we're FIA Class 2, I think it is, track, but can't quite run Formula One out here, but we do run Indy cars.
Yeah.
And of course, Moto America.
One, if you're not familiar with Barber Motorsports, and to Mr. Barber's credit, it is in fact there is not an inch of this place that hasn't been touched. A blade of grass out of place. And my lady is an artist, and I have a couple friends that are artists themselves coming out. And there's art all around the property.
Yeah. Mr. Barber has a real affinity for sculpture, for art. Mm-hmm. The museum is full of art. And as you walk around the grounds and you go hiking around different pathways, there's little sort of Easter eggs everywhere.
Yeah.
Zombies coming out of the sewers and just fun stuff like that. We have an inflatable church for Sunday,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm not about camping in there.
You wouldn't.
A little steamy?
Yeah, a little toasty. But anyway, it's really a unique place to visit. It's an amazing place to work. And like I said, we've got over 1,800 motorcycles, about 1,200 of them on display right now in the museum.
Yeah.
140 odd cars. The largest Lotus racing and sports car collection in the world is right here.
And you're firing up one of those today?
Yeah, we fire up this morning at 10 o'clock. We're going to fire up a Porsche 908 powered Lotus, very rare car. And for the uninformed, it's that looks like a VW engine, but it's like a $200,000 motor inside this Lotus birdcage chassis. It's really, the whole thing clamshells open.
Okay.
And you look into it and you're like, there's no way someone's going to.
That's 10 o'clock? All right, mark my calendar here.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So it's not just a museum where you kind of just sit and witness and look. We've got a full restoration shop downstairs.
Yeah.
And then everything that's made it up onto the floor can be fired up.
What it's not just the floor, it's 5 floors.
It's 5 floors, yeah, that's right. 5 stories.
And I know if you're just listening at home or watching this, if you haven't seen Barber, it is quite the sight to see. It in itself is a piece of art.
It's a beautiful building. It's concrete and glass, fully air conditioned, beautiful space to hang out. We've got a dedicated bridge. The bridges that you see on television, actually the only way you can get on those bridges is through the museum.
Yeah.
So you buy your ticket to the museum, you can go out on the bridge, check out the racing from up there, the most unique perspective on any racetrack in America, really. We really work hard to make it presentable and very, very clean, but it's an incredibly affable crew of volunteers, and our hats off to our volunteers and docents who just do an amazing job for us. And welcoming everybody to check out the millions of eyeballs come through here.
Yeah, I got a few bikes in my place.
Yeah,
so doesn't really stack up.
Yeah.
So specific to you, if this is 30-year anniversary, congrats again. What was your introduction here to Barber, and where did you come from before that?
That's a great question. Thanks. So I was on the racing crew for a gentleman named Jeff Nash out of Dallas, right? He owns Ducati Dallas now, and he was racing Supermonos in Arma. And so we went out to Roebling Road in Savannah and raced there. And on the way back, he's like, "Hey, mate, we got to make a stop, right?" And so we stopped, and it was that secret door, right? And I don't remember it having anything on the outside, but it was like one of those things, and then opens up, and you go in through like a little hallway, and then all of a sudden, there was just, I've never seen so many motorcycles in one place at one time.
And not just bikes, like pristine.
Well, it's a whole mishmash because some of them had to go through the restoration process.
Right.
So some of them were like iconic bikes that just needed a lot of cleanup, right? And Mr. Barber had decided a while back that he couldn't have the world's greatest automobile